Perfect. All right, guys. I think we got some people in here, so welcome. So hey, before we get going, guys, if anyone wants to ask Kyle a question, me and Kyle are going to talk a little bit here. If anyone wants to ask him a question, just you can put in the chat box or put up, I think there's a little like raise your hand thing here. You guys can raise your hands and then we'll get to those questions and we'll see if anyone's brave enough to ask Kyle a question face to face. So welcome guys to our first little mini series here over the Christmas holidays. So our first guest, he hails from New Westminster, BC. He's a former 3rd overall draft pick in the 2007 draft for the Phoenix Coyotes. He's won a World Junior Gold Medal in 2008 with Team Canada while being the leading scorer on that team with 4 goals and 4 assists in 7 games. He's represented our country 3 times on the international stage at the World Championship. And he was the team captain for Team Canada in 2019 in Slovakia, where he took home a silver medal for our country. He has over 700 games, NHL games to his belt to date, and is starting his 12th season in the NHL with the Edmonton Oilers. And I think I'd be in trouble, Kyle, if I didn't mention that you're a 2006 RBC Junior A Championships with the Burnaby Express.
Great.
So let's everyone welcome Kyle. So thanks for coming on, Kyle.
Thanks for having me, guys.
So why don't we go back to kind of your roots and, you know, tell everyone how you developed such a passion and love for our beautiful game of hockey.
So my parents put me on the ice when I was about 2 years old, and I started skating, and I don't even remember it. They just kind of told me that I really enjoyed it and never wanted to get off the ice. And the things I do remember growing up were kind of the Monday night father and son skates at Moody Park Arena in New Westminster, where it'd be my dad and I every Monday night. And I remember being excited about it because usually my bedtime when I was, 7, 8, 9 years old, it'd be like 8:30. And father and son hockey always went till 9. So I felt like I was pretty cool getting to stay up past my bedtime to do what I love and play hockey. And yeah, just kind of stemming from that, I just loved the game and loved practicing, and kind of my fondest memories growing up were just my dad and I going on the ice, kind of the 2 of us by ourselves, and just working on things, and we'd make games of them to make it competitive. And he was not a great hockey player by any stretch, but he was a good coach and he was a really good dad, and he saw that I loved doing it, so he'd always take me out and do it with me, and it was just a lot of fun. It was kind of something that snowballed, and I mean, I kind of have this idea that the more fun you have, the more you're going to want to do it, and the more you're going to want to do it, the better you're going to get at it. And then ultimately, the better you are at it, the more fun you have. So it's kind of just like a cycle of just keeps going in the right direction. And I kind of started on that cycle early when I was a kid with my dad. And I was very fortunate. Hockey took me in many directions and had many experiences. And the top of the list is winning the national championship with Davey Samos here that you guys have been coached under. So it's great.
Yeah, I don't know if that's at the top. Well, it could be, but that's pretty cool of you to say that. But, going back to just spending time with your dad on the ice. And, I think you said something that's pretty neat. You guys would kind of just go out there and play games. I don't think your dad was out there making you skate lines or do push-ups or anything like that. Maybe just kind of talk a little bit more about just how you guys went out there and just had free time and just played.
Yeah, it was kind of, and honestly, it's kind of funny. He's 62 years old now and I'm 31, and we still, I rent ice every summer. And so back then, I'm not sure what kind of setup you guys have, but we're a member at the North Shore Winter Club, and they'd have just open ice where it kind of, you didn't have to rent it. It was just open to anybody that wanted to go out, and there could be 10 people on the ice at any given time, or there could be nobody. And kind of my dad and I would go out right after school. We'd go straight to the rink, and we'd usually get there and there'd be nobody on the ice. So kind of we'd always start, and to this day, when I rent ice in the summers to work on things and get in shape for camp, we still start our skates. We just do like a weave, kind of passing up and down the ice, saucer passes, backhand passes. I'm doing most of the skating, but it's just kind of a fun way to, practice different passes, joke around a little bit, get loose, warm up for the skate, and still just kind of gain that chemistry and have fun. And then from that, we kind of branch into our routine of stick handling drills and agility drills and shooting drills. And none of it is anything he's forced me to do. I understand there's some drills and exercises that are more difficult than others, and maybe I don't enjoy doing them as much because I need to work on them because I'm not very good at them. But again, that's just him being my closest friend and a good coach and a good dad, and kind of pointing things out that I know I need to get better at, and he's bringing up ways to do it. And like you said, Mosey, it's not skating lines, because you're not, you can achieve cardio on a treadmill, if you want to do cardio on the ice. Kind of my dad and my theory is the best way to do it is to integrate cardio and that into the drills where you're stick handling with pucks and shooting and kind of, so you may be skating a lot while you have the puck, but it's always finished with a shot where you have to mentally be there when you're tired, to focus and bear down and score when it's easy not to. So
yeah, and kind of like speaking about that, Kyle, like we try to do quite a bit of small area games in our practices here. It kind of sounds like that's what you guys would do too, but like at the NHL level, do you guys do quite a few small area games during practice?
Yeah, I was on the ice this morning with there's 11 of us out there this morning, and all the guys that you guys know, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Darnell Nurse, all the guys are out there, and we do our kind of half an hour flow drills and working on passing and shooting and different things, 2-on-1s, 1-on-1s. And then at the end, we do about a half hour. We do 5 best of 5 for 5 minutes each game, where it's bring both nets down to one end on either end of the ice. And today we actually played one that was below the top of the dots across the ice. And but usually we play from the blue line in with the 2 nets at one end. And when you get into the full ice, when it's that few guys and you play 3-on-3, it's that Connor McDavid has a pretty big advantage.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine that.
He's something special.
Yeah, that's really cool. So going back to your dad, so your dad was he's in the Canadian Hall of Fame for lacrosse, right?
Yeah, he's in the Canadian Lacrosse Hall of Fame.
Yeah, so hockey wasn't your only sport growing up. I know that you were an extremely good lacrosse player, and when I was doing some research for this talk, also saw that you were a football player as well. So maybe talk to the kids about the importance of playing other sports in the off season, and maybe what you did, like how many months a year when you're 8-9 years old, how many months a year you played hockey to lacrosse.
There's my son Beckett.
Hey buddy, how are you? Good.
It's really important to play other sports as well. Put it on the counter, bud. Okay. Okay, go over there. It's really important. It's because I mean, when I was growing up, anyways, I just found that from a young age, it's great to have that love of hockey and to play it year round. I mean, if you love it and you're not getting tired of it, you know, when you're not playing as a part of a team in a summer setting or whatnot, you can always go and practice in the driveway whenever you want. But I just found it really important to play other sports just to partially preserve that passion for hockey, so that it can be sustained long term and not burn out. But also from just I always found that the most rounded athletes just always stood the best chance of going further, just because there's from all these different experiences you can bring that sort of athleticism from lacrosse that I played lacrosse for a long period of time, and you know, rolling off checks, timing when to cut through the middle, you know, when to bear down on the ball and face offs. It's just there's different hand-eye coordination. There's all these things that transfer. And you know, football I played quarterback in high school in grade 8, 9, and 10, and just reading the play, like dropping back, being under pressure, standing in there and addressing your options at a pace where it's just really quick, you know. And as you get higher, as you get to higher levels of a sport, it all happens quick. It all happens really quick, and you can't hesitate and think about things. And just all those things that I've taken from other sports have kind of come in, and I use them in hockey all the way through my career. And I'm good friends with the strength coach in Ottawa, and we talk about this all the time, how important it is just to be a rounded athlete, because it preserves your passion, but it also improves your ability. And it also, in my opinion, helps injury prevention as well, because you're flexible, you're used to different situations as opposed to hockey with just skating and having your hips a certain way. You know, playing lacrosse and running is a different motion than skating. So it balances everything, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And so, yeah, I always found it really important. I tried to do a bit of everything growing up. I was a big sports nerd. So lacrosse, I played until I was 15, hockey, obviously. And then football, I played in grade 8, 9, 10 at high school, which was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed golf. I'm a big golfer. Tennis, I was in tennis camps every summer. They're all good sports.
Yeah. And I mean, in grade 10, like you were playing junior B still. That was your first year junior B, right? So like you were playing junior hockey, and you would get done your season and you come back and play football. Like, you know, that's pretty cool. Like you don't see a lot of kids doing that.
So I actually that season, so I went about a month and a half of playing football that year. I was backing up a grade 11, I believe. Let me think. Or no, I was actually starting that. Anyways, I about a month and a half into the football season, camp had just finished for junior B, and we played our first game of junior B, and I broke my wrist. And the football coach wasn't happy, and that was kind of when I had to officially pack it in for football, because I obviously wasn't going to play the rest of the football season. And it was just, I mean, junior A hockey the following year was too much, because we practiced every day. So
no, that's pretty important, I think. And I think what you said, it's kind of almost training yourself to miss hockey. It's you know, you want to, if you keep doing something over and over again, you're not going to get that hunger and that drive to really, you know, chomp at the bit come August, September, whenever hockey season gets going.
And especially today, even more so when I was a kid, but it's kind of easy to lose sight of that too. Like I feel like there's so much pressure on kids nowadays just to play year round, and you're falling behind if you don't. And I mean, we're talking about, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old kids that it's like, yeah, like Ed Jovanovski I played with for a long time. He played with Canucks. I played with him in Phoenix for 3 years. Like he didn't start playing hockey until I think he was like 11 or 12 years old.
Is that right? Oh, wow.
Didn't start playing hockey until college.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, yeah, I just wouldn't stress about falling behind, because obviously you want to play and practice and get better, but doing other things also helps you improve at hockey. And as long as you put in the time when you are playing hockey, it'll all come together.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, with World Juniors coming up, I think we really need to ask you about that and winning a gold medal in 2008 in the Czech Republic. Like, that's just, and you were the leading scorer on the team. I mean, I can remember watching that and, just being so proud of you and being proud that I was able to get the opportunity to play with you. But you guys had a stacked team. Like, you look at that list now, I was looking it up before it, and it's like, holy, there's some good players on there.
Yeah, it was really neat. It was special. So it's pretty cool. I actually centered Claude Giroux and Brad Marchand was our line. And then like we had an underage John Tavares, an underage Steve Stamkos, an underage Drew Doughty. We had Carl Alsner, Luke Shen. We had Brandon Sutter. We had a ton of guys, and it was awesome. I think Wayne Simmons was on the team.
Yeah.
We had a really good group, and to be over in Europe, we kind of thought, we didn't know what to expect going in, because obviously it's so big in Canada. And then going over to Europe, we didn't know what to expect, and it was unbelievable. We had like thousands of Canadian fans that flew over and came to every game and supported us. And I remember it was Sweden had a really good team that year. They had that Backlund who's playing in Calgary now, and they had Berglund, who played in the NHL for a long time, and they had a bunch of good players. And we lost to them in the round robin, so we didn't get the bye coming out of the round robin. They did. And kind of that's a big thing, because you play like 3 games in 4 days to get to the championship game in the playoffs. And I remember we lost them, so we didn't have the bye. And we went through the quarters, the semis, and then we played Sweden again in the final. And I think we were up like 2-0 halfway through the third period. And all of a sudden, just the fatigue started to catch up to us, and we just got gassed. And third period ended, and it was 2-2. They'd scored twice in the end of the third period to tie it up, and we couldn't wait for the buzzer to go, because we needed a break, and came back in overtime, and I think we scored 7 or 8 minutes in.
Who got the winner?
Matt Halischuk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, him and Sean Mathias were on the ice, and
okay.
I think Mathias pulled it out of the corner and drove the net, and Halischuk put it in.
Besides the 2006 RBC, what was was that like your top moment, one of your top moments in hockey?
Yeah, that would have been one of them.
Yeah.
That was really neat.
Yeah.
Those two, I mean, you just can't beat winning. Like, it's winning the national championship in the RBC with the Express with you. It was so neat to see how everything came together for us. Like, I mean, we traded for you halfway through the year or so, and then kind of from that point on, you could just see our team get better and better and better. And just the process that went into it that year was really neat for me. I just thought it was really cool to see how important it is to finish a year hot and strong and just carry that through the playoffs, because it's something that, looking back on the teams we've had when I've been a pro, in Nashville, we had great teams every year. Like, we had really good teams, really good depth. And we'd start every year really hot. We'd be really good. We'd be first in the division, first half of the year. And then it's almost like you just start to wane as the year goes on, because it's just fatiguing to keep that mental high level for 82 games. So it's kind of a process of working towards the end goal of being at your best come the end of the regular season to give yourself the best opportunity in the playoffs. And the way we did that with the Express for the RBC, it was just really neat to see. And then each playoff round had a different story behind it. It was really cool.
Yeah, it didn't hurt that we had a 16-year-old stud on our team either, scoring a hat trick in the finals.
I think the veteran presence with you and Orbs and a bunch of the guys played the leadership. Cooker played the leadership role.
Yeah, that was fun. But hey, we'll get to some questions here. There's a few kids from our Adam team. I see Josh, Andrew, and Max. Is that you guys? Why don't you unmute? I know you guys have your hand raised. Why don't you unmute your microphone and ask Kyle a question? Go ahead, Andrew.
Well, Josh has the question.
Josh, go ahead, bud.
Kyle, how much hard work did it take to get to the NHL?
It was a lot of hard work, buddy. It was, and 99.9% of it was fun. I really enjoyed it, because it's something that as hard as the work can be, it's really neat to see what comes from it. Like Royal Bank Cup championship with David, and World Junior Championship, and just the opportunity to play at a higher level is really neat. So it's something that, working hard for one day, you don't really see the results. But if you work hard every day for a long period of time, you start to see the results, and you just have to trust that the results are going to come with that hard work.
Good, Josh?
Yep.
Working hard, buddy. You're doing awesome.
Thanks.
What's your son's name, Kyle? What's your name, buddy?
This is Beckett.
Hey, Beckett. How are you?
Good.
Good. Are you playing hockey? Yeah. Are you playing hockey right now in Edmonton?
He signed up, but with the COVID restrictions, we haven't been able to get out.
Okay. Cool. Do you have a position yet, or no? You just go out and play?
You just go out and play right now, don't you? How old are you?
6.
You're 6? Right on you. So you'd be an initiation.
Yeah.
We might have to trade for you, Beckett. We'll see. We'll put the request into Edmonton Minor Hockey. We'll see if we can get you. It might be tough, though.
Sounds good.
We'll see about that. So Grayson Turgeon is on here, and he had a question. And Kyle, you've already kind of talked about it, but is there any specific stories from your journey from minor hockey to the NHL that hold a special place?
Let me think. Yeah, I mean, I talked about the RBC being a big one. The World Juniors were really neat. Let me think. From minor hockey, we have some good minor hockey teams that I made some really good friends on, and it was kind of an interesting story. So I grew up in New Westminster, who has a very small minor hockey association, and it's in the Lower Mainland, which is, as you know, kind of surrounded by bigger associations. So when I hit a certain age, my parents even with the open ice opportunity that I talked about, where you can go out at any time and practice and whatnot. So that was kind of available in North Shore Winter Club. And so my parents actually signed me up to move from New Westminster to the North Shore Winter Club. And they actually, at the time, they didn't know that you couldn't do it after a certain date. So they literally moved me, I think they moved me like September 15th or something. And the cutoff was September 1st. So they actually didn't let me play competitive hockey for one full year when I was, I think I was 10 or 11 years old. And so I actually played non-competitive hockey for the full season. And I found it really interesting because, I mean, lots of people just think that you always play growing up. It's important to play at the highest levels, and, you know, you're, if you don't, you're falling behind. And so I mean, I'm proof. I played a full year of non-competitive hockey at that age. And I enjoyed it. I made some good friends. It was a lot of fun. And I mean, I don't think it hurt me at all. So,
yeah, no, so that was when you were 10 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a great lesson, guys. Like, you know, we're in a small community here as well. And we pretty much play house hockey. And this year we haven't been able to play any games or go to any tournaments. But, you know, you look at someone like Kyle, he didn't play competitively when he was 10 years old. So, you know, don't let this year get you discouraged by any means.
No, exactly. Exactly.
Got another question here from Noah and Brody Black. What is your most memorable goal that you've scored?
Oh, man. Any playoff overtime goal is really neat. Is really special. I've been fortunate. I've scored 3 of them, and 2 of them were against Lundqvist, against the Rangers, and it's the biggest surge of adrenaline you kind of ever feel. You just feel like you're on top of the world, and you could lift a car. But it's really neat. I'd say any of those goals.
I'll put a link to that. I can remember watching that game. I think it was Game 5 in Ottawa when you scored Lundqvist. I remember watching that game, and you were getting interviewed after, and just like, it gives me goosebumps even now just thinking about it. I can't imagine you like that.
Yeah, no, it was so the Game 5 in 2017 was like you said, it was in Ottawa, and that was against the Rangers. And then, sorry, one sec. B, please don't do that. And then Game 4 in 2012, I believe, was another. It was against the Rangers as well, and that one felt really good too.
Against the King too.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Josh, Andrew, and Ethan, do you guys have a question?
Yeah. What is your favorite brand of gear or anything?
Ooh, that's a good question. So it kind of depends. It depends on what piece of gear. Do you have a specific piece of gear in mind?
No, just
okay. So for the most part of my career, I've always used a Bauer stick. And the stick I use is I think it's 4 or 5 years old, but they just paint it over as the new stick. And they just keep making the old stick for me because I really like it. And here's a interesting tidbit for you. So every game that I play, so we play 82 games in a regular season and then playoffs. Every game I play, I cut down a brand new stick. So I just, over the course of a game, taking face-offs and shooting and hard passes and whatnot, even though the stick may not actually break, I find the blade gets too soft and it gets a bit whippy, and I notice it. And so every game I cut down a brand new stick, and I use it for the game. And then sometimes I break a stick mid-game and I have to cut down another one. So it's pretty common. I'll usually go through a little over 100 sticks in a season.
Cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. Good. Thanks for the question, Andrew. Did Joe and Peter have a question?
Go ahead. They can hear you.
Does someone have a super deaker?
Can you hear him? He's wondering if he has a
These
super
are my
deaker.
kids, Kyle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
What'd
what
you
was
say,
the
Joe?
question, buddy?
Go ahead.
Do you have a super deaker?
Do you have a super
You have a
deaker?
super deaker.
A super deaker.
I don't know if you've seen those, Kyle, but like,
What is it? I'm not even sure what a super deaker is.
you stick handle a puck on it, and the lights light up. And
Oh, cool. No, I don't. I feel like I should get one to help improve my stick handling, though.
Peter, what's your question, bud?
What hand do you use the most, and what flexes your stick?
What shot do you use the most?
What shot do you use the most, and what flexes your stick?
Ooh, I use a 95 flex stick, and I usually take snapshots. I don't have a great wrist shot, and at the NHL level, you don't often have time to wind up with a full slap shot. So I usually use my snapshot, and then on the power play, I like to set up with a one-timer. So I like taking one-timers. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Okay. I told Kyle we'd do like 30 to 40 minutes. So I think we'll take one more question. Is that from you guys again, Andrew, Josh, and Max?
Yeah.
All right, last question, guys.
How many? What do you think the toughest goal you've went up against is?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. That's a really good question. There's some really good goalies. You know, the ones in Nashville I practiced with every day, and they were Pecorini and Juicy Saros, and they were both phenomenal. They were really good. And in practice, they worked. It was almost like they worked even harder in practice than they did in games. And it was every rebound, everything. It was really tough to score on them, and it just got frustrating as a player because in practice you think you should score and you want to score goals, and they were trying their hardest not to let you. So it was really good. They're really good goalies. But there's lots of good ones. You know, that Jonathan Quick he's good. Carey Price is good. You know, I feel like there's a very slim margin between the elite goalies and the average goalies, and I mean they're all pretty good at this level.
That's awesome. Perfect. Well, Kyle, you got a young family there, and we just can't thank you enough for taking half an hour to speak to us here today. This is pretty incredible. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit starstruck to you, man.
Oh, wait, man. We got to get our group together again for a reunion and have.
Yeah, it's 15 years coming up. That's hard to believe.
It is hard to believe.
This is your 13th season coming up, right?
Yeah, my 13th professional season.
Like it's pretty incredible. So yeah,
crazy how old we're getting.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'll be 36 next year.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyway, it's great.
Good.
But we'll let you get going. Hope you and your family have a great Christmas. And again, thanks so much for this. This is incredible.
No problem. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch. Good
Thanks,
luck, guys. Everybody have a good Christmas.
Thanks, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Okay. Bye.
See you, Kyle. Thanks. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Bye.
Merry Christmas, Becky. See you, buddy.
Sounds good. I'll talk to you, Mosey.
See you, buddy. Bye. Thank you.